Like and subscribe right now, or this spider is gonna crawl on your face while you're sleeping.
With a swift hand and a cooperating credit card, you can find some pretty incredible steals on eBay. This online auction and shopping website, which has been around since the early 2000s, allows users to comfortably purchase an unending variety of items and services from the comfort of their own home. You can bid to purchase anything from clothing to furniture to animals. Thousands of transactions are made every day. Most of them are pretty normal. However, once in a while, a bizarre and unexpected item is put into auction. There have been instances where the most insane items came up for sale on the website and either someone was dumb enough to purchase it or eBay management had to step in and close off the auction. Well, before you try being a detective and storm off to a Google search to find what bizarre items were put up on eBay, here's a list of some of the most ridiculous things people bought on eBay for a fortune. Let's go.
Been home 8 months and you didn't touch them once. So now you have to sell them with eBay.
Number 10. Golf balls from a snake's gut. On January 11, 2008, an auction for 4 golf balls that were surgically removed from a python's gut ended. The balls were removed in an emergency room at Gold Coast Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. The golf balls were initially used to coax a hen to lay an egg. The python then raided the hen house but mistook all the golf balls as real eggs. The veterinarians that removed the golf balls soon put them into auction to raise money for a new wildlife hospital. The sanctuary didn't receive any government funding, and as demands rose, more space was needed to cope. After an intense bidding war that went down to the last second, the golf balls, along with x-rays and photographs of the surgery, were sold for $1,401 to an Australian man. The python would soon make a fast recovery and was released into the wild. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that will take just 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell and you get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works. Number 9. A group of men. In February 2006, 4 men put themselves up for auction for a fun-filled weekend. They would not be liable for the travel expenses but promised, quote, some beers, some snags, some good conversation, and a hell of a lot of laughs, end quote. Mark, one of the 4 men, said the idea just came up one day while the 4 were together. Quote, we were just having a few beers in Balmain and thought it would be a good idea for people to join us. Mark also said a celebrity had been included in the deal. He didn't say who it was, but he mentioned that it would be out of this world. The auction concluded on February 9th and a guy from Sydney, Australia won the auction with a bid of $45,000. The celebrity turned out to be Rob Kardashian. Well, if somebody paid $45,000 to hang out with 4 randos on the internet, they probably wouldn't have been bothered if they brought the wrong Kardashian. Number 8. Partially eaten sandwich. Food that has people's faces on it is common on eBay. Sandwiches that contain the faces of SpongeBob, Hello Kitty, and Ron Artest have been sold. However, none of them are sold with the same price as a sandwich with the image of the Virgin Mary. How much would you ask? Well, $28,000. In November 2004, a seller put her 10-year-old grilled sandwich with an image of the Virgin Mary up for auction. On November 14th, eBay pulled the auction stating that they didn't allow joke listings. However, the owner convinced eBay that the sandwich was real and stated that she herself would deliver the sandwich to the winning bidder. The posting became an internet sensation, eventually getting more than 1.6 million hits. The new owner of the sandwich, online casino Golden Palace, is putting it on display at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. It promises to take the partially eaten religious icon on tour. The seller says she took a bite of the sandwich 10 years ago, saw the image of Mary, and immediately decided that this blessed snack was not to be eaten. Number 7. Sports cars for less than $1. In June 2005, during a live interview with Jody Marsh, Kerrang 105.2's Tim Shaw told the glamour model he was prepared to leave his wife and their 2 children for her. His wife Haley was listening and said her husband's flirtatious interview was the last straw in their strained relationship. After having a few drinks, and while her husband was still on the radio, Haley listed Tim's Lotus E-Spirit Turbo for sale on eBay with a buy it now option of a measly 77 cents. The item description read, quote, I need to get rid of this car in the next 2 or 3 hours before my husband gets home to find it gone and all of his belongings in the street, end quote. The car sold within 5 minutes. Mrs. Shaw said, quote, when he said he would leave me and the kids for Jody Marsh, that was it for me. I am sick of him disrespecting this family for the sake of his act. The car is his pride and joy, but the idiot put my name on the logbook, so I just sold it. I don't care about the money. I just wanted to get back at him. There is no hope for reconciliation. A Kerrang 105.2 spokesperson said the DJ was absolutely gutted. Mr. Shaw was suspended from the station in February 2006 after he broke into program director Andrew Jeffrey's house during a live prank, damaged the property, and wrote obscenities on the wall. Number 6. A ghost. In September 2010, Martin Fawcett put his friendly ghost up for auction. Fawcett said the winning bidder would also receive the ghost's home, a regular glass jar. Fawcett claimed that his great-great-grandmother died of cancer, and he wants to donate the money to Cancer Research UK. In the description on eBay, he writes, quote, "He enjoys being let out occasionally, but please ensure to put him back, as when he's left out too long, he begins to get anxious. 20 minutes at a time is sufficient. I have not yet given him a name, so you can call him whatever you want, although he does giggle when I call him Casper," end quote. Unfortunately, on the 6th day of the auction, eBay removed the auction because it was against the policy to sell intangible items or items whose existence cannot be verified upon receipt, such as ghosts, souls, or spirits. Even though eBay said that the auction was for a good cause, they had to remove it because they're strict regarding the policy. Number 5. Iceland. In October 2008, an anonymous seller put Iceland up for auction. During that time, Iceland owed over $5.49 billion to Russia, and the seller thinks they could use the payments to reduce the debt. Bidding started at 99 pence, but reached 17.28 million in just a couple of days. Globally renowned singer Björk was not included in the sale, according to the notice, but nonetheless, there were 26 anonymous bidders and 84 bids. Located in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge in the North Atlantic Ocean, Iceland will provide the winning bidder with a habitable environment, Icelandic horses, and admittedly a somewhat sketchy financial situation, end quote. Bidders' questions included, do you offer volcano earthquake insurance? Is it possible that my payment will be frozen? And will you accept COD as a form of payment? No surprise, the sale never materialized and the auction was pulled off. Still, it is crazy to imagine this could come up for sale. Number 4. Entire life. In June 2008, Ian Usher put his entire life up for auction. The auction included his 3-bedroom house in Western Australia and everything inside it, including his car, motorcycle, jet ski, and parachuting gear. He also offered complete introductions to his friends and a trial offer for his job. Mr. Usher said, quote, "Everything I have, the furniture in the house, all his memories attached to it. It's time to shed the old and in with the new. On the day it's sold and settled, I intend to walk out of my front door with my wallet in one pocket and my passport in the other, nothing else at all. My current thoughts are to then head to the airport and ask at the flight desk where the next flight with an available seat goes, and to go on that and see where life takes me from there," end quote. The company wherein Usher was working offered the successful bidder a 2-week trial, which could be extended for 3 months and then become permanent. Mr. Usher said his friends in Perth were willing to be introduced to the highest bidder, allowing him to advertise his auction as offering a complete lifestyle. When the auction was finished, his entire life was sold for $384,000. Number 3. Justin Timberlake's French toast. If you love your favorite celebrity enough, then you'll be willing to pay crazy amounts for some crazy items related to them. That's what happened when someone was willing to pay over $1,000 for NSYNC member Justin Timberlake's French toast. Back in 2000, the musician and actor had left behind a plate of half-eaten French toast after wrapping up an interview at a radio station in New York. The DJ at the radio station thought he might be able to make a profit from Justin's unfinished breakfast, so he posted it on eBay. A 19-year-old fan with some serious cash ended up purchasing the food for a whopping $1,025. That has to be the most expensive plate of French toast we've ever heard of. What we're curious about is what this fan did with their purchase. Did they eat what was left from the French toast? Did they keep it in the fridge forever? Did they leave it on display in their room, although mold would be a problem? We want answers now! Number 2. Advertising space on a forehead. Advertising anything is never cheap, and that's especially true in this case. But this form of advertising is truly one of a kind. In 2005, 20-year-old Andrew Fisher thought he had a great idea when he listed his forehead on eBay as advertising space. Fisher's idea was that he would advertise whatever the purchaser wanted by temporarily tattooing his forehead. Though the idea sounded strange and impractical, it actually ended up paying extremely well for Fisher, and we mean literally. Fisher's forehead sold for an incredible $37,375 to the company behind SnoreStop, a remedy that is supposed to help you curb your snoring woes. It's hard to believe a company would actually think someone's forehead is a good place to advertise, but that's exactly what SnoreStop seems to think. SnoreStop CEO Christian DeRival is quoted as saying, "I look forward to an enjoyable association with Andrew, a man who clearly has a head for business in every sense of the word," end quote. SnoreStop probably got more publicity from the media surrounding this eBay purchase rather than the actual advertisement itself. But with that nifty paycheck, Fisher probably isn't complaining. Number 1. A ghost. If you're a filmmaker, this purchase could be the inspiration used for your upcoming movie, or we don't know what you'd do with it. An Arkansas seller sold their ghost in a jar for just under $56,000, a huge price tag for basically just a jar of air. The seller reportedly found the jar in an abandoned cemetery, but they wanted to sell it after claiming the ghoul in the jar had been terrorizing him. The owner even warned potential buyers that they couldn't be held responsible for anything that happened to them after the transaction. This whole story is alarmingly unnerving, so we can't imagine who would be enticed to buy such a haunted item. While we do doubt there's an actual ghost living in the jar, or unliving, having something with such a spooky history in our home is enough to give us nightmares. Whether the new buyer bought the ghost for a joke or because they're intrigued by the paranormal, we hope they had better luck with their new ghoul friend than the past owner did.